What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome to episode 2 of Community Voices. Thank you so much for the support you did on episode 1 with High Ruler, but today is a very special guest. Pink Panther. Suki is okay. Welcome. How are you doing?
Pink Panther? That's a new one. Hello everybody. I'm Suki. I am okay.
I figured Pink Panther would be a good nickname given how known you are for the pink colouring. So I thought if I was going to give you a nickname, because I gave Hyrule's second best member of the weekly recap, so I wanted to give one for you as well. So I know you were nervous about coming onto here, so I'll ask you the first question of what eventually made you come onto Community Voices, Suki?
Oh, we're gonna go into this right off the bat. Okay. What made me come to Community Voices?
That's right.
A certain person reached out to me and said, "Hey, I would like to have you on Community Voices," and I said, "There are several other names I would put before me." And then I said I would think about it. And the next thing, I'm streaming and someone comes into my stream and puts me on the spot. And that's how we're here.
So, for anyone who's unaware, essentially, I jumped into one of Suki's streams while they were playing Avengers, and I made it fully known, and their community made it fully known that this was going to happen. So that's how we ended up getting here. But thank you, Suki, either way, for falling to peer pressure. So, the
Oh, yeah, totally.
the first proper question is, what got you into content creation? Tell me about the journey from just the Avengers Discord to making content.
Um, that one really started mainly, I'm sure, like a lot of people, the pandemic. Like you have nothing to do. You're at home, and you're like, this was one of those things that I've always wanted to do. Like I was like, I feel I can do this. Like I don't even care if I have like followers and that. I want to stream. I like playing video games, obviously, and usually I end up talking to myself while I'm playing video games anyways. And I was like, why not stream? Why not, maybe my friends can catch me or something, something like that. And then I got heavily involved with Avengers because it has certain boxes that it ticks that other Marvel games just cannot come close to, for me at least. And so it really hit with me, and then I got involved with the community and got to know people, and then now I'm where I'm at, and it's insane.
Well, I mean, you've absolutely blown out of the water out of nowhere for me, especially, considering I had no idea that you were originally on the Avengers Discord, because you were told me that you were on there through a different name. And
I
then
was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you carry on if you want to, if you've got anything that you want to input, then that's perfect. This is your Community Voices, so go ahead.
Yeah, the name was TDH2O Law.
I remember seeing that name, and I've told you this before, that I
Hmm.
remember seeing that name, but I can't put my finger on any sort of conversations that we may have had under that name. So, for anyone who doesn't know, you've spoken to the famous Suki is okay before they became Suki is okay. That's crazy.
Before I was okay.
That's right. But before Suki was just okay. So, what you mentioned that Avengers ticks a few boxes that no other Marvel games can. Do you want to sort of go into detail about that? What is it about Avengers that other Marvel games just can't do for you?
It's kind of like the question that I gave to Revealing when he did the interview with the story writer, Hannah McLeod, is the whole family aspect of the Avengers. Like I loved that in Earth's Mightiest and certain cartoons of the Avengers where they actually felt like this family that lives together, that they're together all the time. Whereas most other games and even the MCU, you just have this feeling of like they team up when it's needed. Like there is no family dynamic there. It's just like, oh yeah, no, they're good friends and they come together when it's required. And
Yeah.
then I'm really, as everyone knows who's been to my streams, I'm obsessed with One Piece, and I really love world building. And so that's what intrigues me about the Avengers is they've taken this franchise that everyone knows. Everyone knows the Avengers by now, and they're telling it their own way. And we're getting to see their world being built before our eyes. Yes, it's not as fast as people want it to be, but it's still getting there. And so that's what intrigues me.
I think the most interesting thing about the Avengers story is how it's gone from, because obviously you mentioned that it's not as fast as people may want, but we've gone from just the story about Kamala bringing back the Avengers to time travel, cloning, the end of the world, Cosmic Cube and things like that. The
Yeah.
story is definitely going through beats as quick as it can. What's your thoughts on that? Would you have rather the story have been a bit, even though the rate is going to be the same with how they've released content, would you rather it have been a slow build up to these massive events, or do you like sort of the way they've done it, where they've just gone for broke and just added all these things?
I feel like they have kind of rushed it a bit lately, probably because of the they're so far behind from where they wanted to be, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm very patient. I mean, again, I'm into One Piece. Uh, so I prefer if you're gonna tell your story, you take your time, you have that passion that you've had from the beginning. I want that passion all the way through. I don't want it to suddenly drop off or anything like that.
I did notice that when it was announced that the multiple heroes, being the same hero on the team thing was announced, you were quite upset about that, just due to the fact that it seemed that the game was it kind of got the vibes that it was adhering to peer pressure in the way that you were presenting it on your Discord. Do you sort of want to explain that kind of, what would put you off this game? Not in regards to quality dropping, but what would the game do that would make you sort of switch off?
I've actually talked about this on my stream. I've said that there are certain things that this game, if they choose to do, will just immediately I will stop playing. And that is if they start to do like your default Marvel, where they kind of just throw everything at you for just the sake of fan service. Like, just, oh, here we go. Here's all these villains. Here's all these characters. Forget story. Here you go. Have fun. That would immediately turn me off. Because again, the thing that attracted me to Avengers was to get to see this growth and to get to see their characters evolve with the story and where that goes.
Would you say though that Marvel's Future Revolution is quite on that boat of fan service, throwing a bunch of characters towards you? Obviously, I know you've been enjoying that a lot lately because you showed me your pink Captain Marvel. And then, and then I got into it because I saw the pink Miss Marvel outfit, which I loved. So I was like, I'm going to download this game straight away. However, I've had technical difficulties with that. But regardless, do you think that that's kind of weighing on that opinion a little bit? Because obviously you've been quite into Future Revolution. Has your mind changed about that sort of fan service view, or is it just kind of something that you don't want Avengers to do, but Future Revolution, you're happy to play that with that sort of mentality?
No, that's it exactly. The fact that Future Revolution, I mean, you said it yourself when you saw all the villains they were adding and everything. It is very much that fan service game. It fills that Marvel Heroes void that we've all had,
Hmm.
like perfectly. Yeah, if you want the fan service, Future Revolution is definitely the way to go. It's highly customizable. I mean, the combat is lacking, but again, it's a mobile game. But I enjoy Future Revolution in places where I don't enjoy Avengers, but at the same time, I enjoy Avengers way more than Future Revolution when it comes to other aspects. So they both have things that I like and dislike.
I think that's the case with a lot of Marvel games over the years, that it's been able to fill voids that other games haven't been able to do. So, for example, you look at two games. I know they're definitely in different timelines, but if you look at like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and then Marvel Spider-Man, those two games definitely do different things, but they still accomplish a lot of things, if that makes sense. So obviously Marvel Spider-Man, a very detailed story focused on one character. You get a lot out of that character and their universe, whereas Marvel Ultimate Alliance, still a good story, but a lot of the heroes don't get that kind of attention because it isn't really focused on them. It's focused on the big narrative piece. So yeah, I can totally see that being the case. So I'll ask you then, what is your favorite Marvel game of all time?
Favorite Marvel game of all time. I would have to go just because I really enjoyed the aspect of it would be Lego Marvel Heroes 2 because I got to design my own character.
You can design your own character
I'm
in any Lego game, can't you?
I don't know if you can or not. I believe you can, but yeah, I really love that I could design my own little hero. Like I've forever I have wanted like a Marvel DC Universe type game where you can just create your own Marvel character and then just go crazy. And
Yeah, no,
I'm
for
very
sure.
sad that we haven't had that.
I mean, when I do remember, like when I was looking at forums and stuff and Reddit for Marvel Heroes, a lot of people had said that when the game had died, when it was first coming out, that's actually what they thought it was going to be, right? They thought it was going to be sort of make your own characters, but obviously a lot of people love Marvel Heroes, but sadly I wasn't in there myself. What character did you main in Marvel Heroes then? What about Marvel Heroes like did you like?
Marvel Heroes had what I really loved about Marvel Heroes is it was kind of a gateway into more Marvel for me because at the time I wasn't like really big into Marvel. I knew a couple characters like Captain Marvel and like I knew of Captain America and all them, but it wasn't really like a big thing for me. I was very much in the anime manga camp of things. Like I just prefer the anime manga stuff because it has an actual story. It doesn't like continue forever, you know?
For sure, yeah.
But Marvel Heroes was a great way for me to get to learn about new characters, such as like Squirrel Girl and things like that.
Well, it's ironic you say that because for me, Marvel's Avengers has done that quite a lot. So, for example, I didn't really know who Kate Bishop was before she, came out into this game. Like, I knew of her, but I didn't know sort of, a lot about her. I had as much knowledge as IGN does about the character, which is none. um,
Oh God, yeah. What Clint's daughter?
Clint's daughter, that's right, yeah. Like, so it was interesting for me to be able to speak to members of the Avengers community and learn a little bit about Kate Bishop and some of the comics she's been a part of and her background and stuff like that, and it really got me hyped to be able to play as her in Avengers. So sometimes the community can really help you get excited about hero releases and content and stuff like that. So, but what is your sort of thoughts on the Marvel's Avengers community currently?
The community currently, I honestly I've seen a lot of improvement with it.
Like, what kind of improvements have you seen with the community?
Just people being more open to, okay, that's your opinion, you're entitled to it, but I disagree with it. But I've seen some be actually respectful while at the same time being like, well, I dislike Marvel's Avengers. I have Future Revolution, and I think it's a lot to do with Future Revolution being out. They've kind of finally just let go of Marvel's Avengers because they weren't getting that fan service that they wanted.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But
totally agree with that. Yeah.
but I have seen a slight improvement. I mean, obviously there is still certain jerks out there, but I'm not going to get into that one.
No, so yeah, well, no, I totally agree with what you're saying that Future Evolution, obviously giving that side of the community that was desperate for more characters, more villains, more locations and stuff, a place to kind of go to play, whereas the people that liked Marvel's Avengers and how it was going forward, were happy to obviously stick around. So, with that in mind, then, like with your own community, is there anything? Has there ever been a day where you've not wanted to stream or do content, but people of your own community have been able to push you to keep going?
Honestly, no. If anything, I've said several times that ever since I started streaming, it's kind of been an addiction where I'll try to play games on my off time. And I'm like, I really want to stream this. Like, I've started Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm like, I really want to stream this. Like, anything I play, it's like, I could be streaming this. I should stream this. And so, I've actually had the community tell me, like, you need to, like, have a day off. You need to be able to take just that mental break. Just take that day off. Take a day for yourself. So,
Do
but
you,
yeah, I've never had a day where it's like, I don't want to stream today.
you've told me in the past, behind the scenes, that you've been known as a workaholic in your personal life. Do you think that has something to do with how much you want to stream?
Probably, but honestly, I don't consider streaming work. I mean, it's me having fun with the game and being able to talk with people in the chat and interact with interact and get to know people that you otherwise wouldn't.
I think during the pandemic as well, and not being able to interact with a lot of people, streaming's been a really good vice for people to be able to communicate with others whilst doing your favorite things. So I can totally see, because especially in Avengers, we've had such a big like growth of content creators and streamers and others, like such as Carrot Scraps, obviously Revealing's up there, the June, yourself. Even content creators like Junk Old Guy, ODG, and more people like that. There's so many characters in the Marvel's Avengers community that stream that it's really cool to see. If you were to say, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one, three of your favorite Avengers streamers as a fan, not as a friend, so you don't lose friendships out of this conversation, just as a sheer fan, three of your favorite streamers.
Oh, that's easy. Revealing too much, obviously. Because like I've said several times, they were one of the first streams that I caught with Marvel's Avengers, and it was still when I was trying to learn how to stream myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned so much from Revealing. So without a doubt, Revealing, Sadistic Kitten, and Old Head Gaming.
Would you say there's, who inspired you to really start making content or even continuing to make content? Because I know you say it's for fun, obviously, but is there any sort of content creator you would look up to and sort of be like, I would love to be in that sort of position, or they're doing something right, if you know what I mean, sort of someone you'd want to sort of not mirror the success of, but can sort of be seen as like a streaming role model?
Like I said, Revealing has taught me so much. Just it's been very helpful. Even if he hasn't realized how much he's helped me quite a bit. So yeah.
Definitely a big shout
So
out to Revealing Too Much there. Of course, if you haven't watched anything of Revealing's, then please make sure to do so. They're one of the biggest streamers in the Marvel's Avengers community, and they're really cool. And if you notice anything about Revealing, it's the adorable little beard fiddle that he does in between his hands aren't busy. I've always noticed that every time I point it out, but I never want to put it in chat because it seems a bit rude.
well, so instead you'll put it on a YouTube video.
So
Okay.
yeah, well, Revealing might not watch this. However, if you did Revealing, I apologise. Please continue to do it. If that is what you want to do with your hands when they're not on a controller or keyboard, go ahead.
I'm gonna tag him.
It's totally. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take the more Revealing Too Much clout. I will accept it. So with that in mind, then obviously speaking of Revealing, we know that Revealing has obviously done interviews with Keanu or Kino, I believe that's the right way to say it, and Hannah as well. Do you ever want to go down that route of sort of interviewing one of the developers or having a conversation with them in general?
I would absolutely love that, especially when it comes to, again, I'm big on world building. So being able to talk with the people who are creating the direction that this Avengers world is going, like that would be amazing for me.
For sure, yeah. So, well, I mean, in that case, then I've basically just opened the doors for you. So, if you ever want to sort of open them and step on through, then for sure, go ahead. So, with that in mind, then what's your end goal with content creation? Like, where do you want to be when this is, when you've hit maybe a year, maybe 2 years of content creation? What's the end goal?
I think the next logical step would be partner because there was a time like when I was first started, like I didn't even think affiliate was possible. And then th again, thanks to this community, that became true. And so I think just the next logical step would be Twitch partner.
Well, we are talking to the community plugger here, so you've been able to get
Oh
to
God.
you have been able to push and assist a lot of people into positions that you yourself didn't believe you'd be able to get to. I'm always seeing every single day, such as that thread that you've posted on Twitter about highlighting streamers and other content creators. Considering you didn't think you would get to affiliate, you've helped myself and so many other content creators get to a stage where they can kind of fly on their own, but with a good support system behind them. So I definitely think you should give yourself a bit more appreciation for that, because you told me before we come on here, I'm not a voice of the community, but if I didn't have you on this show, Suki, I'm I'm certain people would be very upset with me about that. So I'm glad I peer pressured you, because you definitely deserve a place on Community Voices for sure. So as the community plugger, obviously. Um,
God, that nickname.
so um, if you don't mind me going into a bit of personal stuff, okay? This is pretty. We're gonna get into some of the serious stuff. We're gonna get out of the games, out of the streaming, and everything like that, because I think it's important for you to be able to tell your story, especially with the big news that has come out lately, Suki. If you want to talk about that really quick, because it's definitely not my place to, go ahead. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Black Panther coming?
That's it. Yep. Obviously, War for Wakanda. No. So
But
obviously,
no,
yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
You
you're
go
talking
ahead.
about coming out as being trans.
That's right. Yep. Absolutely. I'd love to. I'd love to hear about that a little bit more, and sort of, because I heard what you said on stream about, you've always sort of just kept it in the back of your mind. You've always pretended that you weren't feeling that way, but the fact that you were able to come out so easily, I would say, right? Because the community was so quickly accepting is beautiful. And I think that's really goes to show, because we have, quite a few trans content creators in the community. So I think that that's also probably been really helpful. But obviously, I'm speaking for you. That's not fair. So if you wanna, I'll do it
Uh,
for you. But no.
I
So
mean, you're right though, because if it wasn't for this community, I would not be able to do what I did. There's no doubt about that. As for like I said on my stream when I did that is it's one of those things that I've always felt, but I've never gone forward with because again, like I am very self-defeatist. I know it's a bad thing, but I do have that little voice in my head that just will not shut up, and just no matter what I do, it's sitting there like hating on me, like you're gonna fail, why even bother? Like just try to make everyone else happy, forget about yourself.
yeah,
And so that's kind of how I went through life is I'm like, are you happy? Are you happy with what are you happy? Okay, cool. You're happy. Like I've never been the selfish kind to be like, well, I want this, so I'm gonna go after this.
for sure.
It and it's irritated several of my friends. Like Isaiah for sure is very annoyed whenever I get like that because I'm always like, well, she's like, you're unhappy. Why are you doing this? I'm like, because it makes them happy, and as long as someone else is happy, then I feel like I've done something. I've been able to make someone else happy. So that to me that was my purpose. It was like as long as everyone else is happy, I'm good. I can pretend to be okay as long as others are happy. And so getting I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Getting to that point where I was able to just for the first time in my life to be like, you know what? I want what makes me happy. And so yeah, just this community is absolutely amazing. And because before the Suki is okay thing was basically a meme from my time in Second Life. I was very big in Second Life because again, like that is like the go-to place where you can just escape and you can live the life that you really want. And there I did have a girl avatar and I was able to live out that life as a girl.
Mm.
Everyone knew me as a girl and so I felt so accepted and then to be able to come to that this community and feel that except now they can see me on cam. I'm not just a name on a screen. Like they see me. Like they know who I am and it's absolutely amazing to be able to experience that.
That's well. I'm so glad that you've just said that as well. For by the way, just really quick for context, if people don't know, can you explain what Second Life is, just really quick?
Second Life is it's a it's a life simulator, I guess you could say. It's basically it's a video game. It's a video game that people go to. Some of the best character creation out there, but
Wow,
but
sponsorships.
oh no, hands you could buy anything in Second Life Marketplace. It's insane. But I ran a superhero sim actually, where it's a role play thing. Like you can go through like I made all like I think I've shown off my artworks of my photo shots of my characters and then I added their names in that. Like there was Arctica and Made in America and like all these like just I escaped in the role play there and people knew me as Hannah in Second Life.
Why Hannah, if you don't mind me
And
asking? Like, what made you
uh
choose Hannah?
Hannah, it was a very beautiful name. When I first heard it, I was like, that is such a beautiful name, and I really liked it. There's that. One of my characters was named Ira, Eira. That was another beautiful name to me. Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, so something like that just fits with me. It's like, oh, that's such beautiful. I love it. Uh,
Well, I mean, absolutely. Like, I can't imagine, obviously, not being in this experience at all. But I would imagine that, from the outside, looking at yourself, it definitely feels like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders to have so many people in the community. Bearing in mind, not people you know in real life, right? Be so accepting of who you are. And like you said, you're visible, people can see you, but you've openly proud said, I want to be known as she her, right, as you put as your pronouns on Twitter. People are fully accepting of that, and it's amazing. I do want to ask you though, obviously, seeing as this is quite new for you, how has it been with the community wise? Because from that stream it seemed very accepting, but when you openly put it on Twitter, has hopefully when I answer this, I'm hoping for positivity. But has everyone been completely on board? Has it been quite easy for you?
so far it's been very easy. I've got nothing but like just I'm proud of you and happy for you and like I haven't seen any negative thing on Twitter as far as my name goes.
Which
There are
is
certain
great.
individuals that have me blocked, so maybe they are saying bad things, but again, doesn't really bother me that much.
Hmm.
But yeah, this community has been absolutely amazing.
It's so
And
important. Yeah, no, sorry, I cut you off there.
no, I think I was done.
Oh, okay. But yeah, there's so, there's members of the community as well. Like just from the top of my head, obviously, cute little chaos kitty, sadistic kittens. Now yourself. You'll have to remind me. There is another one on the top of my head. I believe her name is Phoebe.
Yes,
Correct? Yeah. Okay.
Thebes.
Phoebes, because I didn't want to miss anyone out because it's such a serious conversation to have and it's such an important one, because this community not being a big one, in all fairness, that means we're able to all support each other. And I think that being able to tell that story, and obviously you got, quite emotional there, it's quite an important thing because it shows how much it means to you. And with Avengers having such a wide variety of ages and, individuals and personalities, it's so important to be able to get out there who you are, and it's been really great to see. A lot of people are open about their mental health, like myself. I know Revealing has mentioned mental health in the past. Obviously Bob Duck and Weave, who plays Marvel's Avengers, his son, obviously with mental disabilities as well. It's always important to be completely open about these things, and it's amazing to be able to come together and have these conversations. So thank you for sharing that. And out of interest, then I will ask, just going away from the deep personal stuff, Captain Marvel. You have mentioned Captain Marvel being one of your favourite superheroes. What drew you to Captain Marvel? Because a lot of people's favourite superheroes are attachments that you have.
For me, when I first saw her look, I forget what comic cover it was, but I saw the look and I was like, wow, she is very pretty. And I picked up the comic and I read through it. This was a while ago. Uh, I was very young at the time. Like I still wasn't really into Marvel that much, but I really did like there was just something about her that I really loved. I have gotten to now that I've gotten more into Marvel, I have started to read through some of the comics and it just makes me love her even more. I love the higher, further, faster. Like, she just keeps wanting to push those limits. Like and I can identify with that. Like I want to push those limits, but again, I have that little defeatist voice who's like, and attacking me at every moment. But you want to break through those limits, just like she does, where it's like, oh well, that can go that fast. I can go further. I can go faster.
Well,
And
yeah.
so that's kind of what I she's not my all-time favorite Marvel character though. She's definitely up there. The one that is my all-time favorite is Luna Snow, but there's like no merchandise for her.
what is it about Luna Snow then? Because that's quite a not one of the bigger names in the Marvel universe. So if you want people to be familiar with Luna Snow, where should they go and look?
So Luna Snow was introduced in Future Fight, and it was actually one of the reasons I downloaded Future Fight. It's a mobile game. I'm sure people know, and it was they were. I remember the big announcement was like, "We're making our own original character," and I was like, "Ooh, a new character!" I'm always intrigued when Marvel does new stuff.
Mm.
No, no offense to the 80 years of Marvel, that's fine, but there needs to be some new. There needs to be some growth. Like otherwise, it is going to get stale. And that's how Marvel has stayed relevant, is because they do grow and it does change. With each thing, it changes. Each new issue of Avengers, it changes. So whenever they add new characters, I'm like, oh, I'm all for it. And I'm really big on like Arctic powers.
Hmm.
Snow and ice are like my all-time favorite of the elemental abilities. And then you add the whole celestial like Luna thing with the moon and the stars, which I've always loved like cosmic things. So to have a character where they're combining these two, and I was like, this is my character.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect mix, really, for you, right? Like
Yeah.
that's amazing. So then, in that case, if I was to ask you if there was a superpower that you wanted, I'm assuming that I've already got your answer. Then, basically, all of Luna Snow's abilities, right?
Oh yeah, if I could have ice, I would have such fun with that. That would be beautiful. Like I think ice is just a very beautiful looking power.
I can see what you mean. Yeah, like obviously it's definitely more glamorous and beautiful to look at than like just fire everywhere and all that. Like I have seen way too many fire abilities for for a lifetime. I think like I'm looking forward to the Human Torch Ice Edition coming out soon or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Wouldn't
So
that be Iceman?
yeah, it would be Iceman. All right, leave me alone.
I was
I
gonna say, aren't they like the exact opposite?
they it would literally be Iceman. You're right. As I was saying it, as I was saying that, I was like, they already have one, but I thought I might as well go full send and commit, or else I'm gonna look stupid. So damn it. So okay then. So besides, obviously, you mentioned that revealing is your favorite, Avengers streamer. Who's your sort of overall favorite content creator, or would that also be revealing?
Right now I'd have to give it to Sadistic Kitten. She's been so helpful to me. I mean, I haven't known her long. I only met her when Miller raided her stream one time.
Hmm.
And then ever since then, like that's been my religious, like I tune in every single time she is on. Another one who's not even in the Avengers community would be Lanny Pator from Team Four Star.
Okay, it's a new name for me, but obviously, that's it's not about if I've heard of them before. So, for anyone, because obviously a lot of people who watch me are going to be in the Avengers community. Explain that content creator and what about them that you enjoy.
Lanny Pator, Team Four Star, they're the ones that did Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Okay.
If you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining, very funny, and it's a thing about Abridged is a lot of people seem to mistake it as like they're making fun of the series, and that's not true at all. It's really just like a fan made shout out to the series. But that's an entirely separate topic. But Lanny, anytime I tune in, he's very fun, very entertaining, engaging his chat and everything. And then also like he's shown many moments where he lets his guard down and he can get emotional, he can get very serious, and it really vibes with you, and you're like, this is like this guy is pouring his heart out to his community, and like that's really, it makes you feel more connected to the person
Hmm.
rather than, oh, they're some streamer I watch. When you can connect emotionally with them, then it's like a whole new level.
Well, even before, you came out as trans the other day, I imagine you do the exact same thing. Because as you said, you're streaming every day, right? So it will probably, to someone who comes into your streams all the time, I imagine that becomes a part of their routine as well. Which is why, and obviously you've been so open, literally just the other day. But not just that as well, just talking, just chilling out with the community and stuff. You're not afraid to talk about things. If you've been in a drama, you speak about it. If you feel in a certain way, you talk about it. If there's an opinion you want out there, you definitely talk about it. Hot take
Oh yeah,
Suki.
no,
And
I don't silence myself. If I have something on my mind, I let it known.
which is good. Like there's no other way to be, especially if you're a streamer, because people are gonna watch your streams. They want to know how you're doing, and I definitely think that people can watch your streams and definitely feel like there's a friend there. And I think that's why, personally, you're one of my favorite content creators on Twitch. And I know I only come into the chat every so often, whether it's to heckle you or peer pressure you into doing community voices, but if I'm doing, morning chores or something, I'll flick the stream on, because even if the chat isn't active, you always are. And I think that's one of the biggest important things with streaming. So I feel it's important to ask for people who are, rising up or want to stream and haven't yet. What advice do you give to those people that might be a bit too nervous to get started?
Honestly, just start. Just start. If you've always wanted to do it. And then just be yourself. Because when I tune into streams, because especially ever since I've done that thread for the Avengers streamers, I've had some people that were like suggested to me, and I'll go and watch them, and like uh, before I put them on that thread, I want to make sure that it's something that I can actively support.
Yeah.
And like so usually on my off days, I will like browse through the Avengers category and to see, who's being real. Because I can tune into a stream and I can tell if you're just there for the views. If all you care about, if you're constantly checking your follower count or you're constantly looking, oh, I have this many people lurking, or as soon as I enter the stream, it's like, oh, hey, Suki, welcome, and I haven't said a word. Like that tells me where your priority is.
Yeah, I can understand that. If there, so obviously that's being one of your sort of negative points if you tune into a streamer. But is there any kind of anything else that would put you off a streamer? You know, sort of pet hates.
Uh, if you're streaming the game and you're sitting there just ridiculing it the entire time, why bother streaming it?
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a market for it, as we've realised in this community. But yeah, I can totally see what you're saying with that one. So one last question then. Obviously, we've been able to meet through Marvel's Avengers. A lot of people have been able to meet through Avengers. Where do you see the game in a year, as well as the community in a year's time?
Uh, I honestly, I think it can do well. I mean, I've talked with Andy, I've talked with the other devs, and the passion is there. They want this game to grow and succeed. And I definitely don't buy into this thing. Oh well, they're done and they want it to fail. And no, 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 they do not. You can tell like there's a passion there. They want this game to be what they had envisioned. And so I've already said, unless they make that, sudden switch where it's like, oh, here's all the characters, here's all the places, just go out, have fun. We're done with story. I'm on board until we go off the rails. As for a community, my goal would be to be able to like go to a Comic Con or something and be able to have like a real life meeting of like all the Avengers streamers. I
Mm.
think that would be really cool.
No, I agree with that completely. I'd love to meet so many people in this community because obviously, especially yourself, being around this community pretty much more than, real life friends at the moment, right? It's kind of it brings you closer to everyone you speak to, and definitely sort of has like that friend bond that you might not even be able to have with people in your real life. So yeah, I'd love that as well. That'd be pretty amazing. So any final words you want to give to the community, people watching this, anything like that, any motivational speeches you want to give to people?
Not really. I'm not big on the emotional speeches thing. But really just like I said, if you want to check out my thread, there is a thread on Twitter, SukiIsOkay. And it's just this giant thread right now of all these different Avengers streamers that you can check out. So, yeah.
Well, as always, Suki helping out the community and then wonders why they are known as the community plugger. Um,
I'm not, no, no, no. We're not doing that nickname. That's not sticking. Don't
please,
listen to him.
please, I'm gonna put it as the title, like Suki is okay,
Oh my
community plugger.
God.
No, but thank you so much for joining, Suki. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Check the description down below for all of Suki's socials, the Twitter account, the not active YouTube channel, the Twitch, and the merch store. You have a merch store, don't you? That's sort of not gotten a lot of love lately, unless it has, and I'm totally wrong, and I've just disrespected you, like. But
Oh no, I bought my mug. That's the
you
only
bought your
purchase
mug.
I've gotten is I bought my mug.
Well, I'll advertise it down below, so hopefully more people can buy the Suki is okay mug and drink your favourite liquids from the mug. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting as always. Make sure to subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. That would be awesome. Let me know in the comments down below who else you would like to see. Who else you would like to see back. If you want Suki to do another round of Community Voices,
Oh my
then you
God.
can always let me know. Yeah, you think this is a one and done? If I want you back, I'm going back on that stream. Thank you all, and I will see you later. Goodbye, Suki. Got to say goodbye. There you
Bye.
go. Thank you. Hyrule have failed that one as well last time. Okay, bye.